Joey, your first crack.
Well, if the Pies are the benchmark, what I'm seeing is there's always a team after the buys that gets hot and gets on a run. And I think the big winners of the weekend for me were the Fremantle Dockers. They've now won 3 on the trot, and I think they've set themselves up now where they are ready to launch after the bye that they've got coming up this week, because they've weathered the storm. There were some inconsistencies in their football. There was a lot of heat coming their way. But to go on the road twice against top 8 teams and win in the last 3 weeks, not only that, they've also fixed their game. They've got their game in order. And it's not what some people are saying, that it's at the back of their ball movement. They've changed their game style and they're playing more carefree. It's actually by the fact they're winning now contest and clearance. They're getting that part of their game in order. Their team defence and their front half game has now gone to another level. So when you take a look at this ladder, these are the contenders. We're calling them the top 9 because the Western Bulldogs are just out of the 8, but we know they've got the game in hand. These are the records against each other. So Fremantle should be feeling really confident about themselves, that they can match it with the best. So they've beaten the Giants and Gold Coast on the road. They've beaten the Western Bulldogs at home. They've beaten Adelaide at home. The percentage is down because of that round 1 debacle against Geelong when they went there. But you can just see that they're the teams that are in good shape. So you mentioned Collingwood and we said Geelong, and they're probably the 3 that I trust the most at the moment, the top 3 in that situation, because they have done it against the top 8 or 9 teams. There's a few others we've still got some question marks on down the bottom of there. The Bulldogs are only 1-5 against the other contenders, Adelaide and Hawthorn, and we'll find out more about these clubs in coming weeks. So that is the first point of call for Fremantle. I think they should be confident. They're going to get some troops back. So on the weekend, in the game that they played, they didn't have Alex Pearce, Hayden Young, Jager O'Meara, O'Driscoll, Brandon Walker, Cooper Simpson, Dudley Walters. They've actually got a lot of players out that can really help this side, and I just think that the coach should be commended because he's stuck to his convictions. He's gone and decided, I'm going to play Darcy. I want the Darcy-Jackson combination. And this is why I think they can get on a run, Jay.
Commended's a bit strong, isn't it?
What's that?
Commended. I mean, shouldn't they already be in the 8? Shouldn't they have been in the 8?
Well, they've had their issues. Well, no, we're talking about from what they've done this season. They've had their issues. There's no doubt about that. The St Kilda game was horrible. Then they couldn't back it up against an undermanned Collingwood team. So there was a lot of question marks. I'm saying commended since then, commendable to be able to turn it around. But this is the reason why you should be bullish about Fremantle. 6 of their next 8 games are at Optus Stadium. They only play 2 top 8 teams in this run. They have got a great opportunity now to really springboard this second half of the season.
There's a question mark there for Joey for mine, because you can't trust them in Melbourne. So where's the Melbourne games in that? They play round 19 Collingwood.
That's it.
Then they head into September.
Okay.
But they come to the MCG in September. You're backing in Freo. You trust them or not?
Well, you just got to qualify first, don't you? So to Joey's point, that's a terrific draw that maybe come through a tough stretch, but I had them in there already, so I didn't have them fighting for 8. I had them fighting for 4, top 4 if not better. They are young, so this is a steep learning curve that they're on at the moment, but it does open up for them. Where have you got them? Have you got them pushing for top 4?
Look at, they should be going 6-3 really with that run. So that would put them 13 and 8, and they're knocking on the door of the top 8 with 3 or 4 weeks to go in the season. So there you are talking about Fremantle being potentially a top 4 team, like you said at the start of the season. So and that is where they are. That is where they are at the end of the year, not where they are at round 10. I think that they will. With that draw and the way they're playing now, they absolutely will be playing finals, and I still think they're a chance to finish in the top 4.
Justin Longmuir says he's an introvert. The Fremantle coach, he's excited when he starts slapping the wall like he did. So he was a happy man, the Dockers coach. A Fremantle upset win over Gold Coast in the wet. How did you see the clearance battle, King?
Yeah, it was terrific, wasn't it? Like the first half, they were all over him, and we haven't got time enough to show all the vision, but I thought Fremantle were disrespectful at stoppage in the first half, didn't really man up, didn't really see their roles through in that first 60 minutes of footy. No doubt there was a spray at half-time, and post that they were able to correct, which I think there's some real maturity in that. Being able to in-game address, this is not working.
The rejig?
Yeah, the rejig, and an eyeball or two. Let's sort this out, and credit to them, they were able to do it.
Yeah, they did, and interesting that so Luke Jackson, Sean Darcy, a lot of talk about the combination. They've only played together 15 times in the last 2 years. They're 9.5 wins out of the 15, but it was interesting that in this game there was a period of 26-27 minutes where they were both on the field together, where Luke Jackson played as a pure inside mid. And here are some of the possessions. All these possessions are when Sean Darcy was on the field as the ruck and Luke Jackson was the midfielder. So in the 27 minutes, Luke Jackson had 9 disposals, 2 clearances, 4 contested possessions and a goal assist. It's pretty impressive as a small sample size. But what this is, Kingy, is I just wonder now whether Justin Longmuir is starting to scratch the surface of this unicorn to work out exactly how he can best utilise him and not just have him as the tall forward that can play second ruck, but start to do things. So now that we already knew that he could play as an inside mid, he's one of the best ground ball players in the competition. In fact, over the last month, he's 5th in the competition for loose ball gets. So we're talking ahead of guys like Petrarca and Lockie Neal, etc. But this is the other thing too. So as a midfielder, he's got the size. He can take other midfielders to places they don't want to go. So this is on his opponent, Noah Anderson. That's on the wing. What could he do if he can take the opposition midfielders and take them deep?
Yeah,
we exploit them.
You talk a lot about that centre forward, mid forward role. Why can't he do it? I mean, if he stepped out of a centre bounce charge forward, there's no one waiting for him. Normally it's a half-back waiting for the midfield-sized player coming forward, the Hayden Young or the Shea Bolton style. He comes forward, who's taking him? So I want to see him really explore this. It's a good find, and I tell you what, they've had their knockers about the two-ruck situation. This might just be the answer.
Be interesting to ask him, where does Luke Jackson want to play? I reckon...
It's not his... I don't get that. It's about the team. What's best for the team is what's more important. There are a lot of players, Jay, playing in the forward line of clubs that would love to be in the midfield in teams. It's sometimes about what's best for the whole group.
Sound defensive there, Joey.
It's a bit of a moot point to say, where does Jackson want to play?
Well, big win for the Dockers. It could reignite their season. And Kingy, interesting. This will be a bit of a story, just how they use Luke Jackson. Yeah. He's going to be one of the biggest talking points of the year, but almost exclusively as an on-baller today.
Yeah, I must say, this is the first time I've seen him utilise his trump cards, prioritise them in a way that he hasn't in the past. Jackson in at centre bounce, but not as a ruckman, as an on-baller. He has 27 touches today. So this is what we're talking about. Coaching's about getting the best out of your best. The top 6 players in your club win your games. We talk about Jordan Dawson and Isaac Rankin at the Crows for 5 minutes before. Rochelli's now getting to that level. Well, what's he doing for Bolton? What's he doing for Sarong and Brayshaw and Jackson? That's it. Outside of that, the majority of role players, I'm rapt that he's starting to explore. I like the use of Fife as the sub, I really do. Come on, had an impact, 7 touches.
Good to see him back.
It was great to see him back. He's a bit of a heart and soul player for this football club now. I think he's got something to give in the back half of the year. So I thought he had a great day, Justin Longmuir, I really did.
Yeah, across half forward is where obviously Bolton's been doing a lot of his work, but a player that's been down on form this year and had a sensational game today, who's a real link player as well, with Lockie Schultz leaving a few years ago for the Fremantle, is Sam Switkowski. Yep. He had a brilliant game today, 10 score involvements. He's so crucial to the structure for the Fremantle Dockers, the high work rate half forward that gets up and down the ground, but can be damaging and smart.
Where does Shea Bolton rank in Recruit of the Year conversations? Because we expected big things from him and we're getting it. 3 goals, 20 disposals today, as you always say, King Kong, maximum damage with every touch. He doesn't waste his chance with the footy, and he's just been and that tackle in the last minute was huge.
They just know, don't they? The great players just know when the moment's before them, and he's one. I know it's only 20 touches and he does play across half forward, but he goes in at centre bounces and then drifts forward. That hasn't been something that Justin's done for the last 18 months. It's only a recent thing. So I'm really excited about what they're able to do. Is it too late? Absolutely not. We just showed the graphic of where you can come from to be a premiership contender. There is no reason why these guys are not in the mix.
I think it's the Shea Bolton conversation is maybe Justin Longmuir actually learning how to play Shea. Because how to play him. Like there's an element of the balance of midfield, forward, and everything, and even how to inspire him to actually get the best out of him. Damien Hardwick was really good at doing that. It takes a little bit of time to. The superstars are all built just a little bit differently, and they know how they want to do certain things.
So what does he need?
Well, I think he needs a little bit of structure, but he also needs, and Longmuir is very good at providing structure. They are a structured organisation and football club, but you've got to be able to go, hey Shea, just you do you. And have the trust in him that he can go out and maybe go outside a little bit of the team structure or the team boundaries, and then you get repaid the other way. And they're being repaid in the last month especially for the 2 first-rounders that they gave up to get Shea Bolton, they're being repaid handsomely.
We can forget how difficult it is for interstate clubs, especially travelling every second week from Perth. Well, this is an absolute
Sounds like a Freo Dockers
luxury.
supporter here.
Yep, okay. I'll tone it back a bit. Strip it back, as Steencock said tonight.
But we can't really see that just quickly the banana skin for the Gold Coast Suns. This is a missed opportunity at home. No wonder Dimmer was unhappy.
Hang on. We're talking about Fremantle.
Trying
We're talking about their run. No, we're not coming back to the Gold Coast.